What's up, baby? Check it out. I've had a few people ask me how I got my CDL. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about right now. In case you're wondering how to get a CDL and you just don't have an idea. You only need a few things. I mean, literally, I don't care who you are. Anybody can get a CDL if you've probably got these three things, right? First, you need a driver's license. Second, you got to be able to get a medical card, which is just a physical, a DOT physical. If you're able-bodied, and you usually are, right? You get that, boom. And then, other than that, you might need a clean motor vehicle record. Other than that, you got a driver's license already. You got you a medical card from the physical. It's like $50, and you're good. It shows you're in good health. That's it. And maybe some money. I don't know, but that's really it. So, but how I did it a little bit different than a lot of people do it. A lot of people will get their CDLs through large companies, mega carriers like Schneider, Swift, and all that other crap. And the drawback to that is they'll get you a CDL, train you, right, Swift, but that's cap. But you're gonna have to sign a contract to work for them of employment for like a year, and during that year they're gonna pay you crap. Okay? And for some weeks, months, you're gonna be living in a truck with another man. I ain't with all that. I would hate that. So no, I didn't do that. What I did personally, I didn't even have no cash. I went to San Jacinto College, community college, right? They got a commercial driver's license course there. It was $3,500. I didn't have that money, right? But I had a credit card. I charged that whole amount on my credit card. Took that 6-week course, took my test one time, got my CDL. A week later, I was working doing a concrete mixing Class B truck, driving that. I paid that credit card off in less than 30 days. And right after that, I jumped into tractor trailer. And the only way that I ever got a job was either through word of mouth or scouring Craigslist. The whole time I was working that concrete mixing truck job, I was on Craigslist all the time looking for jobs of employment for Class A drivers on Craigslist in the Houston area. And so I found some, and I went and met this one company. They probably changed their name, or I don't know what they did, but I don't even think they're in business anymore. But they showed me some piece of crap truck, Freightliner, Columbia, and I mean, it was so bad, you could just look at it visually and see the front end was leaning because one of the shock absorbers was just blown all the way out. The truck is a piece of crap. It had air leaks all over it. It was leaking coolant like a bitch. I mean, it was bad. But it had a 13 speed and some piece of crap motor on it. No, probably in Detroit. But I did a little road test for them, showed them that I could drive. And they're taking me with no experience. The problem with looking for companies that are going to hire you is that a lot of the companies want you to have a bare minimum of 2 years over-the-road experience. If you don't got that, they're not going to test you. But don't let that stop you, though. It didn't stop me. And I eventually found somebody like that piece of crap company. They were going to put me to work. They paid me $200 to do a local run around Houston. I ran a Kroger trailer that they had a load for Walmart in. So I dropped this load off at Walmart, and while I was there, I was talking to this other guy, some foreigner from El Salvador, who was in a beautiful Peterbilt. He was telling me his employer needed drivers, so I got his phone number. And while I went to go take that Kroger trailer and dump it, the guy who was expecting the load, it was just an empty Kroger trailer. It was a brand new reefer unit. They were expecting it. They were like, "Hey, was this thing loaded?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, it was loaded." They're like, "What? This is a brand new trailer. They're not supposed to be loaded." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just took a load with this trailer to Walmart and dropped the load off at Walmart." And what I figured out was the company that had me take that load, they had booked that Kroger load, that Kroger trailer. It was a brand new reefer unit that they brought down. While they were bringing it to Kroger, they decided to book another load and use that trailer to take a load to Walmart, and they had me do it. So whatever, you know, it's some shady stuff, but it happens, all right. So, but just because of that and that piece of crap truck that they had in, I called that foreigner from El Salvador, and he agreed to pay me $1,400 a week to go out and back from Houston to Pennsylvania or Maryland, around 3,000 miles or something. he agreed to pay me like that, so that's what I did. So I didn't even work for that other first company. I told him, you messed up when you put me in that piece of junk with violations all over it. You know, I'm not gonna play about my license at all if I can help it. So I worked for this El Salvadorian for some months. He was paying me $1,400 to go from Houston to Pennsylvania or Baltimore or York or Harrisburg or whatever, and come back to Houston straight shot. That took like 6 days, 5 or 6 days. Boom, $1,400. Good, right? And he had me in a good truck. It was a 2006 Kenworth T600 with a 13-speed engine and a cat motor with a compound turbo. Good running, strong truck. There were some issues though. Mainly in the cooling system. We would just lose radiator hoses, just bursted radiator hoses. I'd have to get an Uber. He would pay for the Uber to go get me the part, but then I would put the part on. And I didn't complain about that because that was easy to do. But I should have got paid for that, but I didn't know nothing because I'm brand new to the industry. And then as time went on, he was like, the economy's bad. I can only pay you like $1,300 a week now. I got to take $100 a week from him. I'm like, damn, all right, whatever. So then he did that again, and now it's $1,200. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. But while that was all going on, I was watching a lot of YouTube. And one of the guys that I discovered on YouTube is Toe Piglet. And I learned a lot watching Toe Piglet. Around how the rates work, cents per mile, how you break down your fuel mileage. Well, I didn't need him to tell me that. I know how to break down fuel mileage, you know what I'm saying? But breaking down the cents per mile or what the rate is. And so when I understood what the dollar per mile was and this and that, how everything was going, I realized that I was really getting screwed, you know. Because I was driving like, it was good agreement, but as he was taking money from me, it got me down to $1,200 a week. And I'm running 3,700 miles on average. I'm like, yo, I'm really getting paid crap because I'm really working hard as hell. You know what I mean? I'm running 3,900 miles sometimes, and I'm still getting paid $1,200. So I wasn't with that. So we got into an argument about that. He didn't want to pay no more money, so I walked. I left, you know. And I found another job on a reefer unit for 55 cents a mile, and I ran that for. Actually, they were trying to pay me like 45 cents a mile. And I did one run from him. I was like, yo, that ain't enough. You're running me hard. That ain't gonna work. So they paid me 50 cents a mile. And then I told him, I said, nah. You know, I negotiated with them because I know now from watching YouTube, Holland Cash, Dream Inspired, South Georgia Hot Shot. Shout out to them for real. You know, I'm just watching all these guys, man. Load Miser. I learned a lot about, of course, booking loads. I learned about rate, cents per mile, rate per mile, percentages, what it costs to run your truck. I learned a ton. And now I know how this goes. I understand this business. So, anyways, they were paying me 55 cents a mile to run a reefer unit, and I was running hard, man. When that COVID stuff was going on and they lifted like the hours of service regulations, I ran 5,600 miles in a week. That was a damn good check. It was work though, it was tired. I don't recommend doing that. But I was getting, on average, between 35 and 4,500 miles averaging. And if I had less than 3,500 miles, I was not happy. And the reason that would happen was because the truck would break. It was a Freightliner Cascadia 10-speed DDT, and it was just a high mileage piece of junk that this small company with like 8 trucks got off a CRST or some crap. A million-mile truck, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was gonna break. I ran that truck with no cruise control for months, man. I don't even know how I did that, but I was getting such good miles, and they weren't tripping on how I ran my car. And at 55 cents, I was making some pretty damn good money for literally only having a year, literally 1 year CDL. You know what I mean? So I did that for like 7 or 8 months. And we got into an argument about, really what we got into an argument over, it wasn't even about money. What it came down to was their equipment was never ready. When I would show up to the yard to pick up the truck and go get a load, I would ask them before I go, hey, is the truck ready? You checked all this stuff that I wanted you to fix on it? They'd be like, yeah, cruise control, whatever, this and that, engine brake, tires, brakes, whatever. No, man, I would get there, half the stuff would be fixed. Cruise control was never fixed. So much happened with that. Literally, like my first month working there, they gave me this damn trailer, and it was bad. The brakes were one of the brakes was dragging hard on the brake drum, and that creates heat, and we were blowing out tires because they couldn't get the brakes figured out. And I kept telling them, yo, this is not good. Like, we're going to keep losing tires. This trailer's not really good. But they didn't care. They just wanted to keep running because they wanted me to make that money, right? I mean, when you're booking loads for $8,800 from the border in Arizona to Mexico to Massachusetts for $8,800, and you're paying your driver like $2,000, you know, in that range, and your fuel is running you like $1,500 or so, you're making money. That's all they cared about. So, anyways, that trailer burned all the way to the ground. Lost a whole load of tomatoes. Burned down. I stopped because they stopped putting Chinese tires on it because the wheel was still getting hot after they spent thousands of dollars at TAs and stuff getting the brakes fixed. And then they would decline the card after the work was done. I'm telling you, you got to watch out for these little BS companies, right? So, man. So we were blowing out Chinese tires. They got an American tire, right? I mean, I'm talking about every 500 or 600 miles, we're losing a tire like every other day. It was crazy. Every 1,000 miles, 1,200 miles, tire. Because it kept getting hot. So finally, they had already put all new brakes on it and everything. So I don't know, maybe the S-cam was messed up. We had a lot of issues. Brake chamber, whatever. So, emergency valve was a problem too. They put American tire on there. American tire didn't blow up. The American tire caught on fire. So I stopped. I put fire extinguishers on it. Another truck stopped, helped me, gave me a fire extinguisher. All I could do was disconnect from the load, pull the tractor out, and watch that baby burn. And boy, that thing was unbelievable. And so then they had another truck. It was funny because the very morning, the thing burned down like late in the afternoon. But that morning, I told them, I said, hey, we need to switch trailers. This is an ongoing problem. No good. They didn't care. Guess what happens? Claim on the load, lost all the money, still had to pay me. And you know what I mean? So, man, I don't even know where I was going with that. But anyway, well, I was telling you where I've been. So, we got into an issue though, because we switched trailers, and then later on I got a different truck. Always do your pre-trip. I do my pre-trips. And I thought I was thorough, right? And I'm pretty thorough. But I didn't realize that the fuel tank straps, you know, you got metal straps, 2 metal bands on each side of the tank. Well, they had one on the rear, and I would always see that when I'm doing my pre-trip because it's towards the rear. And this is a Cascadia, so it's got that plastic cover, you know. The only way that you would notice that there was an issue with that front band is if you really got under there and looked. And I did that one morning. I was getting fuel in the morning, and we had just had the fuel tanks worked on because only one tank was working. The other tank wouldn't work, so at half the tank I would run out of fuel. So they had to get that fixed because I told them to get it fixed. Because I wasn't going to be responsible for getting roadside assistance to bring me fuel because you guys don't want to fix your crap. I told them that, so I made them fix it. So I decided to do a check on the work that was done. Let me check and see the work that they did. Boy, I get under there and look, guess what I discovered? I discovered a 2-inch strap, ratchet strap, securing the front of the tank to the frame. What? Yo, I was hot. I was hot. My life's in danger. People around me life's in danger. I wanted to kill a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Not only was it one tank, it was both tanks. And then they want to play like they didn't know about it. No, they knew about it because they're the only ones that work on the truck. How are you going to be the mechanic? You own the business, right? Because this is a small company. Remember, they got like 8 trucks. You own this company, this LLC. You buy these trucks. You expect me to believe that you buy these trucks and you don't even do like a real good, thorough inspection on the equipment before you buy it or after you buy it? Come on, man. You're not going to lie to me. I'm too smart for that. But that's the story, and they stuck with it. I didn't agree with that, so I left. Now I'm doing flatbed, and I've been wanting to do flatbed for so long, man. And I'm so grateful that I'm finally doing flatbed step deck. I'm loving it. It's very interesting. You get to get your hands on different stuff. You learn different ways to secure different stuff. It's been a blessing, man. It's really been a blessing. And I'm glad that I skipped those damn mega carriers too. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, long story short, I got my CDL on my own. I paid for it took it. It worked out great. And I wouldn't change anything about the way I did that. I wouldn't change nothing, man. So, you know what? However you choose to get your CDL, it's up to you, man. You know? But it worked out really good for me. So, and I ain't even got 2 years yet on my license. Don't ever stop trying, man. When you get a CDL, you've got a clean MVR, you got a job. It might not be where you want. You might not be making the money that you want to make. But if you keep trying and you stay persistent, keep moving, you'll get what you want. You'll get there. I'm doing it. Next up for me is a brand new Peterbilt. Or maybe a slightly used one, I don't know. And I could have bought one already right now too. I really could have bought one right now. But I ended up buying a damn, I ended up spending like, I spent like $50,000 on 2 vehicles. I bought a truck, I bought a pickup truck, a heavy duty truck, y'all already know about that. And I bought a car too, if y'all haven't never seen it. It's just a nice little car. Oh, I'm on the tollway now. Better pay attention. Anyways, geese, I'm out.